Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mary and I'd love to share the many projects I have going on around here with you all. I'm really excited for today's video. I'll be working on a piece of furniture. Haven't done that in a while. Often it's a little harder for me during the winter to work on furniture, being that I often take it outside to spray paint it. And of course with our Ohio weather that we have, I can't really do that in the winter time. But the piece I'll work on today, I don't think I'm going to paint it. I'm going to see how it goes with just trying to take the finish off, lightening it up a bit. So let's get right to it and we'll see how it goes. It's always a bit of a challenge to get some of my furniture out of my stash here in the shop. What I'm getting here is a wardrobe that I had purchased in a garage sale last summer. I paid $10 for this piece. I was really impressed with it. It seems to be in pretty good shape. We are dealing with ice on our driveway right now. It's so unhandy. You really have to watch so you don't slip. And this of course will be a bit of a challenge to get this piece up this little slope. I want to work on it in the workshop. At this point, I don't know if this piece will be sandable as far as can I sand down to the bare wood, lighten it up a bit. I soon see that I can do it, but I'm raising quite the dust. You can't really tell in the video, but it started to get really dusty in here, just a fine dust that you get when sanding a finish off. So I decided to move it outside. It is rather cold out there, but at least it'll help with some of the dust. So let's take a look at this piece now that it's all cleaned up. I'm liking how it's looking. I really wish it was still a bit lighter. I'm liking how the corner pieces here, I like that color, but for some reason the sides and the doors are a little bit darker. I have one more thing I want to try, and if it doesn't work, it's no big deal. I like this color too, but I'm going to try to bleach it. I've done that before with my kitchen countertops and it worked. I've also tried it where it didn't work, so we'll see how it goes here. I'll go ahead and just test it in the one corner, let that dry, see how it looks. If it's not worth it, I'm not going to bother to do the whole piece. I am so impressed. Check it out, guys. That bleach worked. It's that perfect shade that I was looking for. How awesome. I'm not sure that I'll get around to doing the rest of it today because I need to leave for my son's basketball game, but definitely want to work on this tomorrow. So here we are the next day, and before I start bleaching this piece, I just have a few more areas that I want to sand off, little spots that I missed yesterday. Along the front bottom here, I'm having some issues with the wood coming off, like sections of the, I think it's veneer. So what I think I'll do is just try to take it all off. So after a half an hour later and one bloody finger, here is where I'm at. I kind of wished I would not have started to take the veneer off of this piece. This bottom piece here, I kind of got it all off. I think it'll be okay. But here I just ran into some issues. It's really glued fast for most of this part here. And again, just wishing I would not even have started. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that section. I thought about just covering it with something like a pretty vintage wallpaper. Not sure. I'll probably decide that once I have the piece complete. Now that I have the outside looking pretty good, still not quite finished, I'm waiting on that last bleach to dry. I'll go ahead and work on the inside. You of course can't tell in the video, but there is kind of a weird smell permeating from this inside. I don't like that. I'm afraid I can't get rid of it, but I'm gonna try. First I'll remove this bar, and then I have a stain blocker primer that I plan to apply. After that, probably a couple coats of paint. I really wished I wouldn't need to paint the inside, but I'm gonna try to do it for the smell, because I think it's such a nice piece. I want it to be perfect, or as near perfect as I can get it. As I started applying the first coat of paint over the primer, I kind of changed my mind on what I'm going to do with the inside. I have this pretty wallpaper. It's a design where there's writing all over it, kind of like it always reminds me of a French country design. It might even be written in French, not sure, but beautiful gold lettering, and I think it would really fit with this cabinet. What I do is just apply it on the sides, like the flat sides, and then on the back, top and bottom. So here I'm just painting the corner pieces and the top and bottom boards, and then in the back section there's also one in the middle. I'll just give those a few coats of paint, and once that is dry, I'll apply that wallpaper. And if it doesn't look right, I can always paint it, but I have a good feeling about this wallpaper. Now the fun part for the outside here will be applying the Annie Sloan clear wax. I love that stuff, and I know that will just bring out the character of this piece. I'm loving the light color, so impressed. So maybe I was a bit hasty in applying this clear wax. I probably should have just done a small section, because I'm not really liking how dark that got, but I'm gonna let it dry, see how it looks. I'm gonna go ahead and use the hair dryer to try to dry it a little quicker here so I can see what will happen, just crossing my fingers. So it ended up drying too dark for me. I didn't get this on video, but I removed the Annie Sloan clear wax. I was never sure is this possible or not, but I guess I learned something from this project that you can remove that. I used bleach. I just applied the bleach the same way as I did the first time using my bristle brush, and it actually stripped the wax off. As I'm editing here, I of course wish I could stop myself from what I'm doing because I know what's going to happen, but here I'm applying a white wax. I did this once before on a piece of painted furniture and that turned out okay, but I think being that I'm applying it to this bleached raw wood, it won't really turn out the way I hoped. I gotta say, I'm feeling a bit frustrated right now. I'm just not really liking the splotchy unevenness of this piece. I feel like it looks diseased or something. I am not sure what I'm gonna do. You guys probably think there's something wrong with me changing my mind so often, but I think it's a nice enough piece that I don't want to mess it up. And I really am learning. I think if you bleach furniture, you really open up all the grains and it just gives, it's almost like a raw, like really raw wood, even more than if it would be new maybe. I've used white wax before that it hasn't really had this effect. So I think what I'll do, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm gonna go ahead and just bleach it again because I know I can probably remove all of this white wax from it. And in this corner here, I just now applied some polyacrylic. As you can see, it will darken the piece, but it went on so nicely. I think I'll be able to get it on nice and even. If I use this product, it's this product right here. Normally I'd probably go for my Annie Sloan clear wax, but there's something with that. I feel it's a little harder to get it nice and even, and I'm afraid I'm going to see every little application on it. Like if I don't get all of my wax on there evenly, it's just going to show up. Whereas a polyacrylic, I can just kind of brush on. It's thinner. It probably won't be quite the look that I had anticipated, but it's okay if it does end up getting a little bit darker. It ended up, the bleaching didn't do too much. It didn't really take all of the wax off, just spots here and there, making it even more uneven. So my next step, and probably my last resort before just painting it, is taking it outside. I think I'm just going to do it on the porch and just take the electric sander over it again. I don't have a lot of room out there because we have a lot of snow, but I think I have a space where I can sand, and it's windy enough it'll probably blow my dust away. The porch isn't really clean anyway, so it's okay if I create a dust out there. As you can see, there's quite a difference here. I think it's going to turn out okay. It's hard work. I gotta say, my arms are actually trembling from pressing down on that sander, but I am determined to get this right. I bet you guys have never seen a piece of furniture get this much attention. I mean, talk about being stripped and bleached and waxed numerous times. You almost feel bad for the piece. I'm going to interrupt this sanding for something 100% more pleasant to me right now. Let's talk about soap just a bit. I have mentioned this a couple of times on my channel, how I started making homemade soap. I have my cousin helping me, and it's so much fun. We're both having a blast doing this. It's always been something we've both wanted to do. My cousin Susie is the one that's helping me. Since we sold out so quickly with that first batch of soap, I've been getting a lot of messages from you guys asking when we're going to have some more in stock, and I'm happy to say right now we have some more on the Etsy shop. Not sure how long it's going to last, but again, we are still making soap every day, my cousin and I, so more will be coming, but make sure to check that out if you are wanting to try our soap. Thanks to all of you that placed soap orders. I really appreciate it, and feel free to let me know if you have any scents that you'd like to see in the future. I should also mention I do have some second soap. These are bars that work perfectly fine but just didn't look quite as pretty. Maybe they had glycerin rivers, again not affecting the function of the soap but just not quite as pretty. I also have some soap ends that are available. Back to the wardrobe, I wheeled it inside and cleaned up my porch a bit, and then waited until the next day before starting to apply the polyacrylic, which went on perfectly. It ended up turning the color just a little bit darker than I would have liked, but I expected that. At least it went on nice and even, and that's what counts at this point. The last thing I want to do with this piece is try to deal with that front bottom piece where that veneer is coming off. I feel like every time I look at this wardrobe, my eye is drawn to that. So I came up with this idea to apply a wooden applique to it. It's not going to completely cover it, but I think it'll hide some of it, just make it look a little bit better. I found one at Kime Lumber. That is a place locally here. And I found this pretty one that will fit perfectly onto this piece. And here I am staining it, trying to match the color of the wardrobe. I'm using E6000 glue to apply this applique to the wood. So I think it's fair to say I'm kind of ready to get this piece out of my kitchen. It was in here way too long. What was supposed to be just a day, like one day job, turned out to be multiple days here. Maybe not the whole day long, but just whenever I had the chance, but definitely with all those steps of sanding, waxing, bleaching, it just took a lot longer than I anticipated, but I am loving it. I wonder what you guys think. I'm pretty excited about it. I think that wooden carving on the bottom kind of finished the piece. I'll go ahead and get some close-ups for you guys to see, but before we do that, let's take another look at the before first. And now the after. I wanted to tell you what I plan to do with this piece. As many of you know, if you've been following my channel, we are building some cottages that we plan to rent out. And I thought, how neat would it be if I could use this wardrobe in one of the bedrooms for one of the cottages? I think it would fit in nicely because I know what the rest of the room is going to look like. And as far as I know, unless I change my mind, I'm probably going to plan to do that. I am really impressed that odor that I talked about is pretty much gone on the inside. I think that wallpaper and then of course painting all that wood really helped. I do smell fresh paint when I open up the cabinet, so I'll have to wait and see once that is gone, just make sure there's no other weird smells, you know, coming from the piece. But as far as I know, I think I'm going to try to use it in one of the cottages. So if you guys ever come to the area and end up staying in that cottage, you might see it again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for being patient and staying with me until the end, even though I had lots of mind changing going on during this video. As always, I hope you're having a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.